right, y'all. Today we are going to focus on twisting. Twisting can do a whole bunch of things. For one, it really wrings out the insides of your body. So it massages all those internal organs, gets things moving. I really like to do twisting sequences like after I've been sick, almost like a twisting to get all that out of your body. I also really like to do it on days that I'm pissed off, super frustrated, super stressed or irritable. It's almost like it's just wringing out the old, squeezing it and getting it out. For some people though, twists can cause frustration, bring up irritation, just may aggravate the ever-loving shit out of you. If that's the case, I apologize. And if you start to feel that stuff coming up, you may just want to go back into a child's pose and breathe and take it easy for a few moments. You can come back and join us later if you want, or if you're like, no, this twisting nonsense is not for me, that's totally cool too. The idea with yoga is just to listen to your body. But if it's just because it's a little bit uncomfortable, because it's not something you're used to, and that's why you're getting irritated, I'd encourage you to stick with it, because it may be exactly what your body needs. You never know. But either way, listen to you. You know your body best. So ignore me if you think I'm telling you to do something you shouldn't be doing. But anyway, today we're going to focus on twists, and we are going to start on our back. Before we do that, I'm going to take a sip of beer because I just got off work and it's hot as balls and I just wanted one. So no apologies, I'm just going to do it. But to begin with, we're going to start on our backs. So, bring your feet flat to your mat, hands on your hamstrings, back here on the back of your thighs, spine long and tall, core nice and engaged, and then slowly roll your spine down and lower it to your mat, one nice little vertebra at a time. Go ahead and extend out long. Stretch through your fingertips and your toes. You may hear all kinds of shit popping on me because that's what happens. If your body's popping too, just let it. Get a nice full body stretch here. And then bend your knees and bring your feet flat to your mat. Arms out by your sides. We're going to slowly windshield wiper our legs to the left and right side to warm up our spine. So drop your knees slowly to the right. And back up to center and to the left. And we're going to repeat that a couple of times. Slowly. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale back to center. Bring your knees back into your chest. Hug your knees into your chest. From here you can start rocking from side to side, giving your spine a nice little massage. Bring your arms down by your sides. Extend your legs up towards the ceiling. They don't have to be perfectly straight here. We're not so much focused on a hamstring stretch as we are just warming up your body. So if your legs are tight and you're here, totally cool. What we do want though is to make sure our core is nice and engaged. What I mean by that is that it's sucked in and not like, but more like a tightening, a gripping in your core. So you feel that strength all the way from your pubic bone all the way up, like into your rib cage, right where they meet, right where your two rib cages, the two sides of your rib cage meet. You feel that meatiness. So really zipping up through there. Your spine is basically flat on your mat. There shouldn't be too much space here between your lower spine and your mat. If you have a natural curve here and it's not allowing you to go flat, that's your body. Listen to it. But if there's some pain when you're trying to extend and you're doing something funky like this, see if you can't just lower your lower back on your mat. Anyway, we're going to start here and extend your legs and flex and point a few times. You can start doing little circles in one direction and switch it up. Going the opposite direction. And then really extend. Get a nice little stretch through your hamstrings on your inhale. On your exhale, just let the bottom half of your legs drop and kind of like bounce against your hamstrings and the back of your thighs. And inhale, stretch, extend your legs towards the sky. And exhale, release. Inhale towards the sky. And exhale, release. Last time, inhale towards the sky. And exhale, release. Bring your knees back into your chest, hug them for a quick second. And then drop your knees over to the right very slowly. We're finding a nice supine twist here. The idea is to have both of your shoulders on your mat. So if your left shoulder is starting to peel up, maybe you need a little bit of a prop here underneath your knees to really make sure that you're not twisting so much and putting too much stress on your spine. The twist is really coming from right about your belly button area of your spine. So the middle of your spine is where the twist is starting. Your shoulders are still nice and grounded into your mat. So if you need a little extra something here, that's not a fault. That's called taking care of yourself. Remember that. And stay here for another minute and breathe. Bring your knees back to center. You can wiggle your hips a little bit. You can roll them around. And then bring your knees back into your chest. You can rock side to side a couple times again. There's never anything wrong with massaging your spine a little bit. It just feels really good. And go ahead and drop your knees over to the left. Again, just keep in mind with your shoulders. So if you feel like it's starting to go like this, now we're twisting from way up here when we want to be twisting from down here. So lower your shoulder and maybe prop your knees up a little bit. Bring your knees back to center. Hug them into your chest, wrapping your arms around your knees. And bring your hands to the back of your thighs. You can cross either your left over your right or your right over your left ankle. And slowly start to rock up and down. Do that a couple times. And maybe on the third, see if you can't get enough momentum to come up over your ankles and your knees. And then walk it on back. All right? Finding a nice tabletop position. So tabletop literally looks like a table. We come into tabletop a lot in yoga. But what we're really looking for when we're here is that our shoulders are over our wrists and our hips are over our knees. Core is engaged so that you're not flopping down like this, okay? We're not like, I don't know, crawling down a catwalk at the strip club, okay? We're really engaged. Core is nice and tight. You're lifting up through the shoulders. So you're really pushing away from the floor through your arms and hands. However, you are not locking your elbows. So if you push and lock it in place, we're now not engaging anything in our arms. We're just putting a lot of pressure on our joints. So we want to push up and really feel that energy coming from the ground all the way up through your arms into your shoulders. But you've still got a little bitty baby bend here, so lots of engagement in your arms. So core's engaged, arms are engaged. And while we're here, we're going to drop our belly, lift our gaze for cow. And exhale, draw your belly button into your spine, arch your back for cat. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your gaze, and exhale. Round your spine, belly button to spine. 2 more times, just like that. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale, find a nice neutral spine. Extend your left leg back behind you and your right arm out ahead of you. On your inhale, reach through your fingertips and toes, and exhale, draw your elbow to your knee. Inhale, reach. Exhale, elbow to knee. 3 more times. Inhale, reach. Elbow to knee. The bottom of your last inhale, you're reaching, reaching, reaching. If you can, bend your left knee, reach your right arm back, and grab the top of your left foot with your hand. You can push your foot into your hand. Gaze, to keep your balance, your gaze, or the fancy word in the yoga world, is dristi. The dristi means your gaze, so it's where you're staring. You really just want to stare, lock in on your mat on one little speck, maybe a speck of sand if you're me, to hold your balance as you push your top of your foot into your hand. Exhale, release your hand and knee back down. Extend your left arm up towards the sky. And exhale, you're going to send your left arm in between your right hand and knee, threading this imaginary, well not imaginary, but I guess like human needle, that is your left arm. In between, you set your arm and your shoulder and the left side of your face down on your mat. Keeping your core engaged, pressing through your right hand, finding a nice twist through the upper body here. And breathe. Ground firmly through your right hand as you lift your head and shoulders up. Unravel. Stretch, 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 stretch your left arm up towards the sky. And exhale your left hand back down to your mat. Wiggle it out. And this time we're going to extend your right leg back behind you. Left arm out ahead of you. Reach through your fingertips and toes on your exhale, really firming up through your core. Spine is nice and long. Inhale, reach. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, reach. Exhale, knee to elbow. 3 more times. Just like we did on the other side, we're going to extend on our inhale, then bend your right knee, send your left arm back behind you if you can, grab your right foot with your left hand and push the top of your right foot into your left hand. You can gaze a couple of feet ahead of you or right down at your mat to keep your balance. Nice chest stretch here. And exhale, release. Send your right arm up towards the sky this time. Look at your fingertips, stretch, 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 and exhale. Thread your right hand in between your left hand and knee. Dropping your left arm in the side of the right side of your face down on your mat. Core is still nice and engaged. You should feel a nice stretch across your right shoulder blade here. Go ahead and inhale and unravel. Extend your arm up again for a last little stretch and exhale your hand back down to your mat. You can wiggle out your hips. Do a couple more cat-cows if it feels good. And then slowly tuck your toes, lift your knees, and push your hips up towards the sky for your very first downward facing dog. I've mentioned this before, but this may be your first video with me, and if it is, I'm going to mention it again. Downward facing dog is not necessarily for the hamstrings. Has very much to do with really opening up across the top of your back and your shoulders. So yes, some people may want their heels touching all the way down. For some of us, that's just not accessible, and it may never be, and that's fine. If you're having some low back issues, bend your knees. Take some of that pressure off of your back by bending your knees. Again, check your elbows, making sure they're not just locked into place. There's a little bitty bend and some nice engagement through your arms. You can pedal your feet in and out if you would like to start getting a little bit more hamstring stretch here. Then on inhale, send your right foot up towards the sky, pinky toe dialed down. And what I mean by that is I've danced for 18 years, so my legs tend to always want to go out. You know, my legs want to be way out here like I'm about to plie or whatever. And I have to constantly remind myself to dial my pinky toe down towards my mat. So inhale your leg tall and long towards the sky, and then step your right foot to the outer edge of your right hand and lower your left knee to your mat. Untuck your left toes. You're going to roll over onto the outer edge of your right foot And let your hips drop nice and heavy here. You're really lifted through your through your left arm. Still little baby bend here. And really lifting up through your chest. And you can take your right hand and push your right knee open just a little bit. Spine is still nice and long. If you want a little more, okay, just a little more, bend your left knee, reach your right arm back, and again, push your foot into your hand. And you can mix it up by bringing your foot in closer towards your butt if you want a little bit more quad stretch. And release that foot back down. Bring your right hand back to your mat. Tuck your left toes, lift your knee. Really firm up through your core. And step your right foot back to meet your left. We're going to do the same thing on the left side. Extend your left foot up towards the sky, pinky toe dialed down. And exhale, left foot to the outer edge of your left hand. Lower your right knee, unhook your right toes, roll over to the outer edge of your left foot. Nice and strong through your right arm here. Lifted through your chest. Taking your left hand, pushing your left knee open just slightly, just a little extra pressure if you need it. Core is still nice and engaged. Your hips are now dropping heavy. Again, for a little extra, you can bend your right knee, reach your left hand back, push your foot into your hand, and you can also draw your leg or your heel towards your butt. Release your right foot back down, place your left hand back to your mat. Ground through both hands, tuck your right toes, lift your right knee, really engage through your core, feel a lift through your chest and up through your shoulders. It's kind of like your shoulders are sort of domed up. You're really, and step your left foot back to meet your right. Pushing back into downward facing dog. Inhale your right foot towards the sky again. This time we're going to exhale and bring your right knee to your right elbow. Inhale, extend your leg up towards the sky. And exhale, right knee, left elbow. Inhale, extend your leg towards the sky. And exhale, right knee to nose. Really tucking your leg into your chest, trying your hardest to get your nose to your knee. Then step your right foot in between both of your hands. Lower your left knee down, untuck your toes unless you need a little extra stabilization. So if you feel yourself getting super wobbly because you're new to yoga or you're just not feeling quite balanced today. I have my days where my balance is off, so you can release your toes or you can keep them tucked, whatever works for you. I'm going to go ahead and untuck mine. Coming into a low lunge here. Again, knee over ankle. Hips are squared forward. Okay, so it's kind of like two headlights on a car. So if you're in this position and your left hip is pulling back as your right's coming forward, check yourself. You want to square your hips forward, all right? While your knee is over your ankle. Core is nice and engaged. Everything's lifted, long and tall, and now extend your arms overhead. Send your right arm forward ahead of you. Let it swoop down by the side of your body. Your eyes can follow your right hand. Sometimes that challenges my balance a little bit. Send your right arm back behind you. Finding another little twist here. Again, it's coming from right in the middle of the back, right about where your belly button is. If you want a little bit more, you can drop your right hand to the back of your left thigh. Send your left arm up and gaze up towards your left fingertips. Go ahead and release that if you're there, finding that twist again. Swoop your right arm down and in front of you and back up as it brings your left with it. And exhale both hands to frame your right foot. Straighten your right leg and flex your foot. When we are in this half monkey pose, which is the special word for it, we really want to keep our spines long and strong. So if you're here and your core is not engaged, or even if it is, but then it's so engaged that you're like this, again, check yourself, you know? You want your spine nice and long. So if you can't keep your spine nice and long while you're here, you're normal, okay? You just may need 2 little blocks right here. And I'll demo for you, except I only have one right now. So you may be here, and you may need your hands on 2 blocks so that you can keep your spine nice and long. Again, we want to check the knee, making sure it's not completely locked in place. There's still a little bend there. The way to really protect your knee joint here is to feel that little moving bone on your knee lift. So it's engaging your quad. Go ahead and walk your hands forward as you bend your right knee. Firmly plant both hands into your mat. Tuck your left toes. Lift your left knee. And send your right foot back to meet your left. Same thing, opposite side. Left foot up towards the ceiling on your inhale. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Inhale, extend your foot towards the sky. Exhale, left knee, right elbow. Inhale, lift. Exhale, left knee to nose. And then step your foot all the way through in between both of your hands. Lowering your right knee down, engaging through your core. So if you really want to check yourself and stuff like this, start with your feet. So are my feet nice and planted? Do I want my toes curled under to help me, or do I want them untucked? Now, are my legs engaged? Is everything strong? Is my knee stacked over my ankle? If not, adjust. Now, are my hips squared forward? Sometimes we may be like this. That's not square. That's got me over here, pointing towards the corner. So we want to square them forward. Again, some headlights, all right? So now we've got our hips. Now let's check our core. Is it strong? Yep, you should feel like it went from your pelvic bone all the way up. Now let's bring our arms overhead. And breathe. Send your left arm out ahead of you, keeping long and tall, okay? But your left arm comes out ahead of you, swoops down by your side. Your eyes can follow it, challenging your balance a little bit as your right arm drops ahead of you, finding that nice twist on your left side. A little extra again, you can drop your hand to the back of your thigh, your hamstring. Send your left arm up, gaze up towards your fingertips. Go ahead and release back. Arms extended wide, swoop your left hand down, up ahead of you, bringing your right with it. And exhale your hands to frame your left foot. Straighten your left knee and flex your left foot. Little baby bend. Spine is strong and straight. Core is nice and engaged. This is your hamstring stretch. So if you're here, that's okay. We want to safely stretch our muscles without causing sciatica or pulling something or putting too much pressure on our knee. Walk your hands forward, bend your left knee and step your left foot back to meet your right. Downward facing dog. You can walk your feet out if you'd like. Send your knees out wide as you drop your hips down. Untuck your toes and set your sits bones back onto your heels. Extend your arms out ahead of you. Then go ahead and drop your forehead to your mat. Taking a moment here to breathe in child's pose. Go ahead and lift your head and walk your hands back in towards your body. Bring your knees closer together. In fact, go ahead and bring your legs all the way together as you sit onto your heels. And now we're going to come up and by tucking our toes and sit back down. Take a sip of something delicious if you want. It's just a nice little foot stretch for a second when you need it. We're going to walk our hands out ahead of us. Check in with your legs. So again, we want our hips over our knees here. Walk your hands out long. Drop your forearms down to your mat. Just a little bit. We don't want, basically we just don't want our elbows touching. But you just want to drop your chest down. I guess that's a better way to describe it. But it's like you're pulling back towards your hips. Okay? But then you're also going to go ahead and drop. You can rest your chin on your mat or your forehead down on your mat. And now your elbows are down, grounded into your mat. This is puppy pose. And if you have puppies, you know why. Because they always do this shit. It's a nice, stretch here. Go ahead and come up onto your forearms. Send your hips forward and lower your hips to your mat. Forearms are still down on your mat. Lifted through your chest, core nice and strong. It's like you're drawing your hands back towards your elbows and your elbows back in towards your chest. And breathe. One more big inhale. And exhale, drop your chest all the way to your mat. Bringing your left cheek and temple onto your mat. Extend your left arm out to the left side. Plant your right hand right by your chest, okay, right under your shoulder. Bend your right knee. And then lift your right knee and let your leg pull your hips towards the left as you drop your toes and maybe even the ball of your foot to the ground. Pushing through your hand, go ahead and let your body twist over to the left. This is a pretty deep shoulder stretch and chest stretch. So if it's too much, come out of it and find child's pose while we do this. I love this though. This always feels so good on my chest and in my shoulders, which are really tight a lot of the time. Go ahead and bring your right knee back over. Come back onto your belly. Same thing other side. Extend your right arm out to the right side. Side of your right face to the mat. Grounded through your left hand. Hand right under your shoulder. Bend your left knee and let it spiral up and over your right leg as you drop your toes and the ball of your foot, and then twist, pushing through your left hand. Twist open. Come back to your belly. Both hands to your mat. Push up through your hands, come up onto your knees. You may need to walk your hands or your knees to a comfortable position. Go ahead and tuck your toes, lift your knees, downward facing dog. This time we're going to extend right foot towards the sky. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. Extend, right leg towards the sky. Exhale, right knee, left elbow. Extend, right knee to nose. And step it all the way through. This time we're going to keep our left knee lifted. Okay, we're going to come into a crescent lunge. So really firm up through both feet and really engage both legs. We're not too far forward here, and we're not way back here. There's pretty much equal distribution of weight here, okay? There may be a little bit more on the front leg, but you're really fired up between both legs here. And once you've got that nice and firm, really engage through your core. Send your arms out ahead of you, and using your core and your legs, lift your body. Oof. And then settle down into it. I'm going to have to walk my toes forward a little bit. Knee over ankle. Your back leg is not hyperextended, so again, find a little baby bend. And then again, make sure our hips are squared forward. Arms long and tall out above us. Bring your right hand ahead of you, keeping long and tall ahead of you, swooping down your right side body and back. Same twist, just a higher lunge. Again, if you want a little bit more challenge, right hand to the back of the left leg. And release that hand if you brought it there, swooping the right arm down and back up as it brings your left with it. And exhale your hands to frame your foot. Go ahead and drag your left toes forward just a little bit, and then flatten your back foot as you straighten your right leg. Hips are still squared forward. So if you find yourself like this, it's a little wonky, check your hips. If you are no longer able to keep your spine strong and straight here, and you're curved over like this, again, the beauty of a block. Okay? Core. I'm going to say core is engaged a lot because it's just so important to protect your spine and everything else. So you may need to be here like this. Sometimes I really do need that block there to keep my back long and strong. And bend your right knee. Scoot the left foot back a little bit. Hands to frame your right foot. And step your right foot back to meet your left. Pedal out your feet if you need to. And then inhale your left leg towards the sky. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Extend. Left knee, right elbow. Extend. Left knee to the nose. Step it all the way through. Keeping your right knee lifted. Again, power up and find the equal distribution between both feet and legs first. Check your core. Is it nice and strong? Can you hold yourself here before you even start thinking about your arms? Then send your arms out overhead and up, using your legs and your core to lift you. Hips squared forward, legs nice and engaged, but not hyperextended or locked in place. If you find your shoulders up here, let them drop. Get your neck nice and long. Swoop your right arm ahead of you. Let it come down your side body and back as your right arm drops forward. That extra challenge, left hand to right leg. Release that if you went there, and lower your left hand down your side body. Bring it forward as it catches your right arm with it. And exhale your hands down to frame your foot. Bring your right toes a little forward. Flatten your left foot as you straighten your left leg. Flatten your right foot as you straighten your left leg. I don't know if I said the wrong one. Again here, you can use your block in order to help keep your hips squared forward as well. So sometimes we may be here because we're sending our hips back and they're no longer forward. So it may even help with your hips. You may be here though, just to keep your spine nice and long, core engaged. And bend your your left knee. Scoot your right leg back. Ground through your hands. Step your right foot and your left foot back to meet your right. Whew. I'm off with my rights and lefts today. I apologize. We're going to start slowing it down. I don't know about you, but I'm sweating my ass off in here. Inhale, right foot towards the sky. And exhale, bring your knee in towards your right wrist. And then lower your right shin down as you set your hips to your mat. This is what we call pigeon pose. If you're feeling way too much through your right hip, like way back in here, you can draw your right foot more in towards your body. If you notice that you're like splaying your left hip open, you may need to be lifted just a little bit, which is fine. You could put a little blanket there. You could even use your block if you need it right here, just to perch your hips up, okay? Again, that's not a fault. It's a strength to know your limits. It's a strength to know your body and know what you're capable of in this moment. So if you need that there, put it there. Or a little cushion or a blanket, whatever you got. Some dirty laundry. If you can get a little deeper, you can walk your hands forward. And if you want, you can lower your forehead to your mat. And breathe. If your head is down, lift it, walk your hands back towards your body, and then bring your left leg around you and set your left foot on the outer edge of your right leg. So both hips are nice and grounded into your mat. Your left foot is down on your mat. And now we're going to twist, again, from right here, our middle back and right by our belly button to the left. If you need a little help with this, you can bend your right hand, right elbow, like you're raising your hand. And then spiral over to the left. Hook your right elbow into your left knee here and twist open. Unhook your elbow. Come back to a nice untwisted spine. And then go ahead and scoot your left foot, back towards your hips. And see if you can't get your knees stacked. I cannot get both knees stacked over one another. That's just a little bit too much on my hips. So a lot of times my knees end up just a little off. Either way, the idea here is just to have them stacked. Okay, feet are drawn in towards your body. Your spine is still nice and strong. Really, anytime we're doing yoga, our spine is really strong. Our core is engaged. We are really lifted. Okay, I know we all spend a lot of time like this. And the beauty of yoga is that not only does it increase flexibility, increase mental stamina, reduce stress, help you live longer, make you look good, but it also really helps with posture. So we're like this a lot, and we really want to be like this. We want to be proud, nice and tall. So knees are stacked, and then with your spine long and strong, you can take your hands out and walk them a little forward here. You're just very, very slowly dropping your chest to your knees. And you should feel a nice stretch along your left hip, your outer left hip here. Beautiful. Go ahead and untwist your left leg. Send it back behind you. Keeping your toes tucked, ground through both hands, and send your left foot back to meet your right. Downward facing dog. Inhale your left foot towards the sky. And exhale your left knee to your left wrist as you drop your left shin down. I didn't quite have my arms where I needed them. And then you can lower your hips down. Again, hips squared, spine nice and long. You can drop your forearms down, walk your hands forward if you want, drop your head, whatever works for you. But while we're here, I'll kind of give you an explanation of why I'm so crazy about the core. It's just protective, okay? You're protecting your spine, you're building fire. Our core is our sense of self. So if our core isn't strong, we may not feel strong. And I don't like to feel weak. So I also struggle when other people come across as weak. So I'm huge on the core. If you hate it, maybe find another teacher, because I dig it. I love strength and power and feeling empowered and all of that yummy, yummy stuff. So if your head was down, lift it, walk your hands back towards your body, swing your right leg around your body, and place your right foot on the outside of your left leg. Hips are nice and grounded. You may need to pull the meat of that booty out from under you so you can get your sits bones down. Again, long, tall, engaged spine and core. Bend your left arm. Spiral over to the right. You can hook your left elbow by your right knee to help you sort of twist a little more. Reaching your right fingertips out behind you. Soft gaze over your right shoulder. Go ahead and release that little twist. And again, we're going to stack our knees over top of one another as best you can. Feet back in towards your body. They lengthen through your spine. While your spine is staying straight and strong, you're going to lower your chest towards your knees. Nice deep stretch through your right hip. Take your hands back. And this time, instead of swinging your right foot all the way back around, just go ahead and untwist it and bring both feet to your mat. Scoot your hips in towards your heels, kind of in the middle of your mat. And again, hands to the back of your thighs here and lowering down one vertebra at a time. Knees into your chest. You can rock side to side. And this time we're going to drop our knees to the left first. So knees to the left, and see, maybe you don't need that block again if you needed it in the beginning, because your spine has been warmed, it's been moved, things have been stretched and wrung out. Gaze over towards your right fingertips. You can put a little pressure on your right knee if you want a little bit more. And your knees back into your chest. Give them a nice hug and then drop them over to the right. Gazing to the left, over towards your left fingertips. Knees back into your chest. One final squeeze. Good. Release your legs all the way down, arms by your side body. For Shavasana, aka dead person pose. Contrary to everything else we did, this is when nothing needs to be engaged. Your whole body is heavy onto the ground. I tend to hold a lot in my jaw, so check that and see if you need to loosen it up a little bit. And breathe. And wiggle your fingers and toes. Roll over to your left side into a fetal position. You can rest your head on the bicep here. And push up by your left hand and your body up. Find a nice seated position. Legs can be crossed. Take one big inhale and exhale out of your mouth. Namaste. That's it for twisting. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I didn't totally piss you off. Hope instead we wrung out the body and got some shit moving, maybe even literally. Either way, I hope you enjoyed it. And I'm gonna go cook myself some dinner with my handsome guy and my 2 cute puppies and finish this like room temperature beer now. So anyway, have a great day, night, morning, whatever it is you got going on. Feel free to leave some comments, feedback. Let me know if there's something else you'd like to see, sequence-wise, pose-wise, but either way, just enjoy the shit out of your day. And thanks for stopping in.